Hey everybody, this is Randy McMullen with Amstar Mortgage. You just closed on your home, now what? What happens after you're to closing? So I want to cover a little bit about post-closing and making your first payment, just so you kind of know how that process is going to work. So the first thing you need to know is, most of the time your loan, if it's a conventional loan, it's going to be sold to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. Same thing's true with FHA and VA, but kind of talking mostly about Fannie Freddie right now. So the loan itself is backed by the government-sponsored entity, which is Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. Now the servicing rights, and that's the thing that you're going to probably think about your loan, is who is actually servicing your loan. So what happens a lot of times is right after the loan closes, the lender will sell the loan off to Fannie Mae, and then the servicing rights will get sold off to another company. Sometimes they'll maintain the servicing rights, but a lot of times today they sell those servicing rights. So you're going to get the payment from another company. So that's the servicing rights. They're either going to hold them or they're going to sell them. Now, in your closing package, you get a first payment coupon. The reason they do that is a lot of times when they're selling these loans after closing, the new lender or servicer, they don't have time to get that first payment out to you. So they give you a first payment coupon, and a lot of times they'll give you 2 payment coupons in your closing package. So make sure you locate those, so if you need them, you can send that out with your first payment. Normally you'll get that payment from the new lender. You'll get a notification in the mail that says, by the way, this company is no longer servicing your loan, we're going to be servicing it. You'll get that notification in the mail. And then when you get your first payment from the new company, after that, that's when you can set up your auto payment. And you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either go to the lender that's doing your servicing your loan, and you can have them pull the money out of your bank account, or you can just go directly to your bank, set up a payment account there, and have them push the money out to your lender. I prefer the push technology just because I've got more control over it. I can go to my bank and turn the payment from the 3rd to the 5th, from the 5th to the 8th, from the 8th to the 1st, and I can do that in a minute. If you let the lender set up that and where they pull it, you have to get in touch with the lender, and then they'll tell you it may take a few days to make that change. So that's just the difference in those 2 things. So you will get a first payment coupon in your closing package. Just make sure you locate that. Now, after you close and all this is done, things that can kind of happen longer term, just to kind of make you aware of it. One is the servicing rights could be resold. A lot of times, maybe 3 or 4, even 5 years down the road, they may resell those servicing rights. That's not uncommon. Later on down the road, if you're paying PMI up front, your house goes up in value, you may want to remove the PMI. You contact your servicer for that, and they'll take care of that as long as you've got enough equity. You can also do something that's called recasting. I'm not a big fan of that right now. It's basically if you make a lump sum payment of 20% of the outstanding balance or more, what will happen, normally if you just make that payment, it cuts your loan term from maybe 30 years down to 28 years or 26 years. But if you ask them to recast it, if you had a $300,000 balance and you paid $100,000 in, they could literally just change your payments. The same loan term would stay in place, but they would lower your payments in that case by about 33%. Now the reason I'm not a big fan of it is because rates are still very low, and generally speaking, I like the liquidity. If you had an extra $100,000 on your mortgage, I think if you put that in a bank or a stock or a mutual fund somewhere, you could get a pretty good return on it, and you just have access to that money. Once you put it into your house, it's a little harder to get that money back out. We can talk more about that in another video. You may also want to refinance down the road. I just made a simple note. Kind of my guideline for refinancing is the new rate on your loan has to be at least 0.5% lower, and you want to have low closing costs. In other words, you don't want to lower your payment $100 a month and spend $5,000 to do that. It would take you 50 months to get that money back. But if you could get a 0.5% lower and maybe save $100 a month that costs you $1,000, well, now you're going to get your money back in 10 months. So that's something you want to look at on a refinance. So these are just some basic longer term things. If you have some questions, please give me a call. I'm always available. This is Randy McMullen at Amstar Mortgage. Have a great day.